gentlemen, welcome back. It is 5:40 a.m. on actual Tuesday. I know I said it was Tuesday yesterday, but that's what happens when it's Monday. So it's 10/29/2019. Man, do we have a lot to go over right now. We are sticking straight up with California when it comes to earthquakes and the fires. We will do a weather update later. I do have tabs pulled up, but we will talk about that in time. I may skip over to them. You know how this stuff goes. So anyway, last night, I believe, actually this was 11:04 UTC time. Let's find out when exactly that was. 11:04 UTC time. Okay, so we're going back a good 15 hours. We had a pretty significant earthquake off the coast of technically Oregon, 5.2. This was 10 kilometers in depth. Usually they don't go lower than that, so this could have been between 5 and 6 kilometers, a good 6 miles in depth, right next to one of our major fault lines along the west coast of the U.S. Now, also keep in mind, guys, we've been dealing with a lot of fires and earthquakes in Northern California near Santa Rosa in particular. We've just had a recent one on the San Andreas Fault right here, 3.5 in Tres Pinos, California. So California is getting lit up, and when you start seeing these quakes out here with these oceanic fault lines, then you know. And wow, a quake just popped up right now, 3.5 in Tres Pinos. So my app on my laptop is just about 10 seconds behind this, 7.6 kilometers. So I lied about that. It does go below 10 kilometers. I just haven't seen it in a long time. We had another one considered in Blue Lake, California. This was a 3.4. Guys, these are significant quakes. We're used to seeing 2s and 1s and a lot of that stuff with the slow slip going on. Here's the San Francisco Bay Area. Here's where the Santa Rosa fires are. Here is where that LA fire that we caught live on satellite last night around 2 a.m. in the morning. Even before the fire crews got there, we caught this fire. And I tweeted out to the Los Angeles Fire Department. They retweeted that stuff, so they were appreciative of that, of the work that we did here, guys. But this fire was pretty devastating. It actually took out a house I used to live in right in this area. I've lived in Simi Valley. I've lived in Thousand Oaks. I've lived all over this area of LA County. And this has always been a popular wooded area for hiking and stuff like that. It's almost a national park. And the fire is still going on, believe it or not. It's hard to see remnants of it on the satellite chart that we used yesterday. But as we back up, you could see that the fire was still there. Right here, you could see it just flickering a little bit. They were on there pretty quickly, and it was really sad to see because when I was watching the live feed of the fire, it was one fireman at one time for over an hour just battling this thing by himself. One truck, one guy with a tank of water. They couldn't even find a fire hydrant to get some of these fires going out. They still have the 405 closed down portions of it. Sunset Boulevard is closed down. Taking a look now towards the north, we could see that Santa Rosa fire still burning overnight last night. We back up. You could clearly see into yesterday. It was burning. A couple big flare-ups. You can see right there as it flickers like a star. Those are flare-ups. That means that the fire began to burn again, and this moved up into the north a little bit. We had two other pretty decent-sized fires that we saw. Sorry about that. Try to get rid of that screen there. And I don't know how to do it. So we'll just refresh the page. And there we are. So we had the Santa Rosa fire here, and then just to the east of the San Francisco Bay, we had a fire here, and then another little one down here. So we can see where these heat signatures are really beginning to cause issues. And I've been getting a lot of comments about tar coming out of the ground and manhole covers on fire. I believe Dutch Sense did a video about this, which I highly recommend you go check out. The guy's incredible at what he does. But I just want to bring my own view and my own ideas to this situation going on. So, yes, we did catch these fires on point this morning or yesterday morning. We get up early. That's what happens when you don't sleep. Sometimes you catch some of this stuff sooner. And I got it on Instagram as well, just so people knew exactly what was going on. So, good job to all of you. All the information that was sent to me. My buddy Chris just sent me this information on a pretty significant earthquake. And I'm not talking about just this one in Oregon here. We've actually had two in this relative area, 3.6 off Gold Beach, Oregon, 117 kilometers. You got to understand that's a pretty decent ways away from the coast right here. But nonetheless, these are the areas that you will see quakes that will cause issues for the west coast of the United States in the near future, in my opinion. And then we just see it trickle down into different areas of the upper Midwest. This one is Blue Lake, California, like we said. Then we had 2.5 in Wiltz, California, and then also today Redwood Valley, California. And again, guys, these are dangerously close to where these fires are. So we saw a swarm of earthquakes here near Santa Rosa just as those fires were going on. So it's like, when is this place going to get a break? California is in one of those spots in the world where it's just the weather, the Sierra Nevada mountains, the shear winds that come down from those mountains, the Santa Ana winds. It's just an area of the world that just really does not get a break from weather. And over the last couple of years with these fires, it's just been unbelievable. We've never seen so many fires, so many acres of land and homes destroyed. And now we're dealing with fires down in LA, where the only wooded area in the entire area basically is what's on fire right now, and all you can do is hope for the best. Beverly Hills, Malibu, to the east, all these areas here are very rich, prominent areas. I know a lot of people have your opinions about that, but God forbid these fires make it to these major city areas. We're going to be dealing with devastation that we've not seen ever since the 1800s in California during that big quake in San Francisco. So with that said, guys, I mean, this is just not good news at all. And just to have some synchronicity going on this channel, I like to do synchronicity things. Semis in Alabama. There's a semis in Alabama too. If you guys remember, last night was the semis fire in California. Funnel cloud spotted in semis as the severe storm sweeps parts of Alabama. This was 3 days ago while we were covering these tornadoes. Two separate towns giving devastating news at the same time, or within a 3-day period of each other. So, all right, where are we here? Let's check out where we're at. All right, so we can see here this is considered the Getty Fire. Now this, again, took place around 1:30 a.m. yesterday Pacific time. That would be about 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had the video up by 5 o'clock just as fire crews were getting there, with an Instagram post as well. But you can see the area here that was affected by the fire. If I back out, you see the circle area right here. Still, this fire is going on. It's not quite gone yet, but look at the amount of space that this fire covered in just basically an early morning. It went on throughout the day, but the main part of it was in the early morning when it first blazed up. In fact, let's bring it up. Let's see if I still have it. I should have it. We'll look at it really quick. Okay, so this is what I posted to. Actually, it's not, but anyway, we'll get to it here. So right here was the Santa Rosa fire that we watched, and here is the fire in LA. We caught this. It was 6:47 a.m. by the time I got this posted. That's just when this fire was really taking shape. Right there. So yeah, this was 6:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take 3 hours away. That's about 3:47 a.m. By the time I noticed it, it was about an hour before that. So we're staying on point on this channel for sure. But anyway, so here is the area of which they had to close down areas of 405 Highway, Sunset Boulevard. I lived right on Sunset Boulevard, guys. Like this road right up here by a Pindra tree. This area right here has houses. And then you come all the way down here towards Crestwood Hills. This is where I lived, right in this area. They had this entire area evacuated. I don't live there anymore. Obviously, I moved into Simi Valley, which is up in this area here. You can see Simi Valley right here. So another earthquake in California, 3.5 in Tres Pinos. Again, check this out. Let's get back over there. Here it is, 3.5, unless that was an adjustment. They actually adjusted an earthquake up for once on the USGS chart. That's incredible. Actually, this might be a separate quake. But anyway, guys, I'm not trying to get off track here. I really wanted to just stick to this fire situation. And let's see what they have to say about it as of right now. Here's a quick picture. Show it to you for a second. That's all I could really do. This is Hannah Fry, Brittany Meja, Matthew Orsmith, Louis Shagon, and Ruben Vivian wrote this article, I believe. I don't know why so many people are writing one article, but a wind-driven brush fire chewed through the hillside communities on the west side of Los Angeles Monday, burning homes and prompting widespread evacuations. The Getty Fire broke out shortly after 1:30. We headed up by 2 along the 405 freeway near Getty Center. That's why they're calling it the Getty Fire. and spread to the south and west rapidly. So it moved in both directions considering the Santa Ana winds. That's very common. Wherever there's brush, the fire's going to go no matter where the wind's blowing. And someone had a really good question why they don't do cutouts anymore or why they don't prepare for these fires. The answer is I don't know. I really don't know. It could have been because that area of woods is semi-small compared to the city around it. We just don't know. Rapidly burning more than 600 acres and sending people fleeing from their homes in the dark. We watched this on a live feed. There was people literally with masks on walking their dogs away while the woods behind them in the foreground is on fire. It was an incredible sight. I can't even describe seeing anything like it before, besides those videos you see where people are driving down the road and both sides of the road are on fire. It's like they're driving through hell. About 10,000 structures have been placed under mandatory evacuation. This includes celebrities, all sorts of things. There was tweets by Arnold Schwarzenegger and a couple UFC fighters I follow. All had to evacuate. They were driving around looking for hotels. LeBron James was out there driving around. He had to evacuate his home. Boo-hoo, but, you don't want to see anyone hurt. But I'm sure they'll be fine. So Los Angeles Fire Department Chief Ralph Terrazas said that despite firefighters' effort, at least 8 homes, including some on Tiger Tail Road. Guys, this is exactly the road I was showing you that I used to live on. It's incredible. I've seen some of these houses that burnt down, had been destroyed in the blaze. 5 others were damaged. 2 of these houses were under construction, by the way, so there was no one living in them. Some homes that were destroyed were adjacent to properties that didn't sustain any damage, which is crazy because it really shows you how those winds work. If you were looking at an overhead view of this site, which I don't have for you for copyright reasons, you could see the winds were coming down in this direction, that they're flowing towards the ocean, and it was bringing all these embers around the back end of the main area of the fire, and you could see all these hot spots around it, and then they in turn turned into fires, and that is why this area is so large right now. The fire began here. You would expect the fire to move in this direction, even though the winds are coming this way. The winds are fanning through these part of the trees. The fire wants to go that way. And then, yes, the embers and stuff branch off and land in areas back here. That's why the fire extended back in this area. And it's still going on as we speak. So we don't know the exact acreage just yet. We just know what we have from a couple of these articles from over last night. They were literally overwhelmed, said Terrazas. I can't pronounce his name. Terrazas. There we go. Said the crews fighting the fire within neighborhoods, they had to make some tough decisions on which houses they were able to protect. That's why they were, letting the houses under construction go and trying to save houses that people were living in. Many times it depended on where the embers landed. There we go. That's the embers were the main issue in this fire. The evacuation zone, where are we? The evacuation zone, which was described by fire officials as a box. Mulholland Drive on the north side of 405 on the east, it's a road there near Sunset Boulevard, and the South Temescal Canyon Road on the west remains in place, which is a good thing. After several hours of closure, the southbound 405 was reopened about 6 p.m., and the neighborbound 405 is also open. So they're reopening these highways now because most of it is contained, but this is how quick these fires can pop up, guys. We were literally watching this chart right here, and I just decided to go a little south to see what was going on in LA, and before you knew it, boom, we had this fire pop up right next to Los Angeles. This was just west of Los Angeles, so that is the latest on this fire, guys. I'm going to have a weather update because the weather is tying directly in with why the winds in this area are going on. And as far as earthquakes go, here's another one, another tsunami buoy going off near Indonesia area, the west part of the Pacific right now. And then I went to the earthquake chart. Besides this major earthquake we had just outside Oregon, which could affect Oregon, Washington, and Northern California if it was big enough. That is a pretty sizable earthquake sent to me by my buddy Chris. Thank you very much for that. But look at the biggest earthquakes of today already. 6.6. This was downgraded from a 6.8 near the Philippines. Let's actually find it. Here it is right here. This was also sent to me by Chris. And guess what this one's right near? A pretty decent volcano, if I'm not mistaken. There it is right there. Check this area out. This area is prone for very major earthquakes. We've seen some huge earthquakes in this area. 5.8 Papua New Guinea. We haven't talked about them in a while. At least I haven't. But again, another hot spot with big earthquakes going on the west side of the Pacific Ocean, rather. And that's a pretty decent swarm right there. that we're seeing in the Philippines. So we're going to keep an eye on that area as well. And then the fifth largest earthquake of the day is considered Brookings, Oregon, which is right off that subduction zone area. That is very scary to see. So, all right, guys, a lot of great news for you this morning. I know it's very early, 5:55 a.m. on Tuesday, 10/29/19. We got 2 more days, guys, until one of the best holidays in the world. And I know a lot of you don't agree with that, but you know what? I don't care. All right, guys, have a great morning. I'll be back later with a weather update. I think I had my coffee. I certainly had my coffee, didn't I? All right, guys, have a great day. Everything's cool here, and we'll talk soon. Good morning. Bye-bye.